Welcome to Romantasy Chaos HQ, the pod. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Today, we are covering the epigraph from Fourth Wing, Chapter 1. This is your warning. There will be spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you have not read all three books, it may be time to turn back. Also, we are not rated E for everyone. Xavier has a degree in cussing, and he is not afraid to use it. We do discuss any and all adult topics covered in these books. We like a challenge, so we tackle each epigraph without prepping, placing it into context for the whole series, not just the chapter or book it's tied to. But you don't have to take it cold, so here's our post-recording one-sentence summary of the chapter. Violet faces down her mother, convinces her sister to let her keep some books, gets a life-saving dragon scale vest and a mixed bag of good and questionable advice from Mira, climbs 1,000,000,000 steps, meets the hottest man she's ever met, and watches her new friend fall to his death. Welcome to Conscription Day. There are 6 minutes on the clock and enough Fourth Wing lore that Mira definitely would not let us carry it across the parapet. So, don't blink. Don't scroll. Don't let Taryn distract you. We have 360 seconds to blow your mind.
And go.
A dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. Article 1, Section 1, the Dragon Riders Codex.
And the first epigraph is a damn lie.
A massive lie.
Just let that sink in. I mean, we start the book off with this understanding that if your dragon dies, you die. And we go through a whole book thinking that's true, and fucking Jack Barlow lives because he drew. And we find out that becoming a venin can keep you alive after your dragon dies, which is just messed up.
Is it surprising that the first two sentences in the Dragon Riders Codex are lies? Well, the first sentence is not a lie. I mean, I guess a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. I don't know if the dragons would agree with that. I'm not going to say for sure it's a lie. But a rider without their dragon is dead? That's a lie. Is that surprising? No.
No, it's a freaking, deceit from the group of people that have completely changed their history. But it is a mind warping lie because it allows exactly what they're fighting against to happen. So if you wanted riders to not become venin, you'd think you'd have an anti-venin training program.
Rider Survival Course, RSC? What about exactly, well, and even like how to fight venin, how to protect yourself from venin, and how to protect yourself from becoming venin? That could be a whole
Yeah.
course.
Think
More valuable than physics.
you think not becoming venin would be like a course in the college, and you would know that like this is the worst thing that you could do is become venin. Although it makes total sense listening to everything that Rebecca Yarros has said on her tours and with her history as a spouse of a combat vet, to have a commentary on a war college not preparing cadets for the psychological trauma and stress of battle, and to just ignore that you're going to potentially have stress damage, emotional damage, PTSD from these battles, and just be like, either you live or you die. That's it.
Well, and when you give people information, and Navarre knows this, you empower them. And if you can teach them why something is not a great decision, hey, losing your soul, not a great decision, then they are equipped to make better decisions. This is why sex ed is like a part of standard education across the United States, because when you have knowledge, you can make better decisions. You don't always make better decisions, but you're equipped to make better decisions. And withholding this knowledge is it is creating a void where it is not possible for the cadets, the writers, to make good decisions because they just don't know. They don't have the necessary information.
And it makes the rebellion executions, even more meaningful. None of them turned. And none of them turned because they were fighting the venin, and they wouldn't turn into what they were fighting because they knew that they were fighting evil, and that's not how they wanted to end up. And they all faced down Coda and didn't draw, and his fire wouldn't have killed them if they had drawn.
Boom. Uh, However, I will say this: the entire Fourth Wing, probably this entire series, is about what happens when you change history, when a lie becomes the truth that everyone accepts, but it is still, in fact, a lie. So it's not surprising that that entire premise is summed up right here in the first two sentences of this book, because that is setting the tone for us for the entire series. And just like not knowing how to or why to avoid drawing from the earth, that's important. Um, you know, the I don't know what I was going to say now. I got distracted by Taryn.
Get distracted by Terran? Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, don't get distracted by Terran. Sigil is also rather distracting. However, digging into not drawing, we see in Onyx Storm a cadet draw on the mat. And the fear that that individual felt was what the problem was. They weren't breaking her bones. They weren't torturing her. She wasn't in Varish's chamber. She was like on the mat in a signet training course.
With someone there to protect her from actually experiencing harm.
and and still drew, right? So can you imagine knowing that you could draw and turn venom and just facing it all down? But again, what would have happened if Xaden had been trained to not be a venom, to not draw, to have other options, to think through other ways to deal with that problem instead of the I need more power solution and now I'm venom?
I mean, Sigil herself at the end of Onyx Storm tells him not to do this, not to draw more to save her life. That's how dire she views this. But he doesn't feel like he has any other options because who has taught him anything different?
No, he was told that without his dragon he would die, and this epigraph sets up the entire tragic trajectory of Xaden.
I mean, and the entire story, what we were dealing with, replacing truth for lies, and then what happens when you find out. All right, that's it from us. Did we blow your minds? Let us know in the comments. And remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.